Well, I'm Reed Nevins. I'm the Mississippi State 4-H Environmental Science Specialist, and today we'll be discussing the shotgun event at our state championships. I have Mr. Scott Yateman here from Webster County. He's a level 2 shotgun instructor, and I appreciate you being on the set today. And let's jump right into it.
All right, good morning, Reed. Thank you for having me here. So now we're talking about the state event, moving on from our district events, which would consist of clover clays with shotgun. All of our safety equipment is still going to remain the same. You're going to have some safety glasses, some form of hearing protection, whether it be muffs or foam earplugs. The Bluetooth electronic earplugs are not allowed anymore because we don't want music or something like that interfering with range commands. So, keeping you from hearing when you need to hear that. When you arrive with your shotgun, it needs to be in a case and have a clear bore, the action open, and have a clear bore indicator running completely through the bore. That way we know there's no obstructions in the bore, no shells in the gun, and we know the actions are open.
Go from the action through, extend out through the muzzle.
Yes.
So
the actions should remain open at all times when you are on the range until you are on your station ready to fire and the safety on. Some differences we have when we move from clover clays, we're going to start playing 3 different games with state competition. We'll do trap, skeet, and sporting clays, and we'll have 50 rounds of each of those.
All right, let's jump into explain the differences between. All right, so let's just start with trap, the trap field.
We have here a diagram of the trap field, and this is what we call the 16-yard line. The trap house will be in the center out front, 16 yards away from each station. Is where your targets will start out, and they'll fly at a 45-degree angle out of the trap house. We'll have a squad of 5, and they will be positioned at stations 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You'll have a puller scorer, and they are the one that directs you how you move on the field. Station 1 is your squad leader. They start as the squad leader, and every time they move, they still lead off as the squad leader. When you rotate, you'll rotate to the right all the way down the stations, and the person who is on station 5 will come around safely with their gun pointed in a safe direction up in the air behind the other competitors to station 1 each time. The squad leader will watch that person because they have the furthest to travel, and when they acknowledge that they are ready, then the course of fire will resume.
All right, so they will shoot 25 targets, right?
25 targets is 5 from each station. So you will start and shoot 5 targets, then you'll rotate, shoot 5 targets and rotate. Then you'll do that 5 times. So for a total of 25 targets.
Okay, let's discuss skeet.
In skeet field, you have 8 stations. And the way you start here, you'll typically have a squad of 5, but it's 1 person shooting at each time. You'll start on station 1. You have an out of bounds stake out here, so you have to break these targets before they get to your out of bounds stake from station 1 through 7. From station 1, you'll shoot a high house, a low house, and a pair. Now keep in mind, with both trap and skeet, when we move from clover clays, we can no longer shoot twice at a target. Each target requires 1 shot. If you shoot twice at that target, you will lose that target if you miss it the first shot. So when you move to station 2, you shoot a high house, a low house, and a pair. Then station 3, 4, and 5, you shoot a high house and a low house. When you get to station 6, you shoot high house, low house, and a pair, but this time from 6 and 7, you shoot your low house first in your pair, whereas from 1 and 2, you would shoot your high house first in a pair. When you get to station 8, then you're gonna stand on the back side facing this house, and your out of bounds stake is in the middle. For this target to count, you have to break it before it gets here. So you'll shoot a high house, everybody will cycle through that, then you will turn and stand on this side of station 8, and you'll shoot your low house. And again, it must be broke before it gets there. If you count this up, that's 24 targets. So we have what's called an option. The first target you miss is still a missed target, but you get your option from that station. If you don't miss any targets the whole way through the course, then you shoot low house 8 twice. And that's totals 25.
25 targets for ski.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now I guess you're gonna have to discuss sporting clays. We don't have a diagram for that one, but
Sporting clays, if we try to do a diagram, it could be pretty confusing because the field layout can be solely determined by the person who sets it up. It is a very fun course, but you get your instructions on how you fire that each stand as you go through. There are a little differences in pairs. You may have a station where you're told that it's a report pair, where when your first shot is fired, your second target is thrown. Then you have a true pair, which is thrown at the same time. Let's see, shells.
there's 50 targets, sporting clays. It's 25 key, 25 trout, 50 sporting clay targets.
Right. Well, and we shoot 50 on each. It's 25 targets each one. We rotate through the trap twice and skeet twice. And sporting clays, you shoot all 50 at one time. So when you come and you bring your shells, that's a minimum of 150 shots. When you start thinking about malfunctions, and then you might get in shoot-offs. If you wound up in a shoot-off with all 3 counting malfunctions, you probably need an entire case of shells to shoot this. And when we talk about shells, they need to be no more than 1,300 feet per second, no more than 1 1/8 ounce shot, and no shot sizes larger than 7.5. So typically we see 7.5, 8s, and 9s.
All right, Mr. Scott, let's discuss some of the rule books that they can go to.
All right, so we'll have links in the description at the end of the video to the rule books for the Amateur Trap Shooting Association, the National Skeet Shooting Association, and the National Sporting Clays Association.
He mentioned the case earlier for shotguns. They need to be in cases until they get up there on the field station or on the field there before they are uncased. I always have that CBI in the firearm. Shells need to be not in the case, of course. Should know this at this point. So,
and the competitors should not possess both the shells and the guns at the same time until they're on the course of fire.
Or on the course, that's right. But we have our state rule book. This is the 2025 state championship rule book. It is publication 2751. This changes from year to year, so we have rule changes from year to year. So always be familiar. Don't look at last year's rule book. Look at the current rule book. You can get this from our website, extension.msstate.edu, or you can contact your local extension agent there in your county and get a hard copy as well. But make sure you're familiar with that. Also, youth have to have a minimum of 2 additional hours from the district or regional competition. They have to have at least 2 hours. We prefer a whole lot more, but a minimum of 2 hours and with a certified coach, and that certified 4-H volunteer coach has to sign off on those hours to be able to participate in our state championship event for shotgun. With that, anything else, Mr. Scott?
I think that's all I got, Reed.
Well, thank you, and good luck and good shooting.
Thank you.